So I got a question for you, and this is going to be a very interesting conversation. I know it, but here's the question I have for you.
Oh no, I'm getting nervous.
Yeah, yeah, everybody should be like, really
Uh-oh.
nervous. How do you know what the difference is between agreeing with somebody and stepping over the line into people pleasing? My question, because this is so interesting. I was having a conversation with somebody last week, and they were telling me that they were sick and tired of people pleasing. They were sick and tired of doing everything for everybody else. And I said, like, tell me, like, what is it that's really bugging you? And they started to give me some examples. And while they were talking, I was thinking, oh, this is really interesting because their example was they decided that somebody had asked them if they would go shopping with them. Pretty simple
Mhm.
request. And the person said, I ended up going even though I didn't want to go. And I thought, well, that's really interesting. And she thinks that's people pleasing. And I thought, okay, is that people pleasing, or is it simply an agreement to do something to help somebody else out? And as we talked, I thought, you know what? She is talking about people pleasing because she vehemently did not want to do it. And yet she did not simply say, no, I'm sorry, I can't. And she went anyway. So it's so interesting when we think about our people pleasing habits, right? Or about people pleasing. Are we people pleasing, or are we just kind of going along with it? Are we just, it's easier to say yes than to say no? What's your take on it? And have you run into people pleasing situations?
You're just like my mind just went like I went like seven different ways, to be honest. Um, I am, I now call myself a conscious people pleaser because I never wanted somebody to be upset with me. It wasn't that I didn't want conflict. It was I didn't want somebody not to like me
Mm,
or be upset with me. So if they would ask me to do something, or if I really like there was a statement made and I really didn't agree with it, it wasn't like anything really major against what I valued or my morals were. I just would go along with it. I would be a people pleaser. And if somebody needed something, I was the first one to do it. Um, Now I am a conscious people pleaser, meaning I pick and choose who I wish to do those things with, like what you were talking about. I think when it comes to the shopping aspect of it, there's like so much in my mind on that because I don't know the backstory. Like, was this is somebody really close to her? Is it something they were purchasing that they just didn't feel comfortable and really wanted her opinion on? Was it, something that the person was nervous in purchasing? So to me, there's a little bit more of a backstory to that than just saying yes. But without it, from what you have said to me, I do take it as yeah, she really didn't want to go, but yet she didn't want that conflict of saying no. So she just people pleased and went along.
yeah, very true. I mean, basically the backstory was there was no major purchase or anything like that. It was
Yeah.
just simply, um, it was simply a scenario where this person had asked her if she would go shopping, and she said yes too quickly, and then was like, I have to do it, and I don't want to do it.
Right. And I've done that too. I've done that too. You say yes because you want to be agreeable and pleasing to other people and had to get myself involved in things. And so I always now give myself that like I have to check that out first. Hold on a minute. And sometimes I falsely look at my calendar. Not that I'm trying to think of a reason, but I'm trying to understand for myself now, is this something I really want to do? I think it's something came up, a story I heard. Um, Brown was speaking, and she said she would do the same thing. She would always say yes to everything to please everybody,
Yeah.
carpool, make cookies for the PTA, whatever it was. And she got herself a special ring. And before someone asks her a question, when someone asks her a question, before she answers it, she turns the ring 3 times. And that gives her time to think, is this something I really have time to do or something I really want to do? And at the end of the third time, she would say, I would love to. However, my schedule doesn't allow me to make cookies for the PTA that day. If I can just purchase them and bring them, that's fine. But if they have to be homemade, I cannot do it. So it allowed her not to jump into the people pleasing, and it allows her to make that. And so I don't turn my ring, but I like go inward for a second or two. And I've learned to say that would be nice, but unfortunately I can't on that day.
It's so interesting that I think for a lot of people it is so difficult to say no, first of all.
Mhm.
And the other thing is it's also very difficult to say, is it okay if I just get back to you? Like, don't make the commitment. Let yourself have the time to think about, I need to check my calendar. I need to do this. I need to do that. I want to think
Yep.
about this request. And just to simply say, can I get back to you in an hour or tomorrow or next week or whatever the situation is. But I find people are really reluctant to do that and very reluctant to say no. What
Yep.
about you, Tracy?
Um, I'm just rolling around my head because I'm trying to identify what exactly people pleasing is based on your question, right? Are you just being agreeable? Because like my husband and I are pretty chill. So if you go, hey, you want to go out for dinner? We're usually like, yeah, hey, you want to go here? Yeah. So am I people pleasing or I'm
No.
just chill? And we both talked about this because we now make sure we put a little bit more input in our um answers so that
Yeah,
we're not people pleasing because sometimes and I want to use the word advantage, but sometimes if you get used to just going along with a lot of things, people are surprised when you do have a something to say and kind of like what so we're consciously aware of that consciously, but we don't think we're people pleasers because like when it
No.
is important to us, we always voice what we have to say.
that's the important part right
That's
there.
the important phrase. That's what I was just going to say. I'm always the same way too. Um, I will say something like to even Pete, my partner. I'll say, "What do you want for dinner tonight?" And he'll be like, "Can we go out to eat?" I'm like, "Sure." I'm like, "Do you have any place in particular?" And he'll be like, "Yeah, are you okay with that?" And I don't really care. And I'm not agreeing because he picked a place.
Mm,
It might not always be my exact favorite, but is it a place that I really don't want to go to? Then I'll be like, no, I really don't feel like that tonight. Can I think of something? He'll be like, yeah, sure. Like, go ahead. Like, he's not surprised. He's kind of like pleased I said something because he's like, well, no, I don't want you to go there if you don't want to, if it's not what you want to have for dinner tonight. So again, in the beginning of our relationship, I was still in that people, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, sure, I want to go there. But I also agree with you, Tracy G. There are times where I just don't really care. I'd rather be with the person than do I have to make the decision. Sometimes I don't want to make a decision where to go eat for the restaurant. I'm okay with that, you know?
So how would you guys define people pleasing then? When you're going against your values, when you're going against what you really want to do, like in the shopping, I'm still trying to figure out why she couldn't call up the person and go, you know what? I just don't want to do this now.
That's the thing, right? Like, and that goes back to what I said about how hard it is for people to say, can I get back to you? Can I let you know later? Whatever, instead of making that snap decision of yes. I think for me, people pleasing is when you are doing something that you are ending up resenting after you've done it or before you start to do it, right? It's like, I don't want to do this. I don't have time to do this. I've said yes, I'm obligated, and I'm doing it just to please that person. Or like what you said earlier, Michelle, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want anybody to be ticked off with me. I don't want to make anybody unhappy. So I will say yes at everything.
Right. And for me, that came very evident when I decided to pull back on my drinking, that I was drinking more to be part of the crowd
Mm.
and to be, and that's those to be part of that friendship with those people. I'm not picking on those people. They were not bad people. But come to find out, they weren't my people. No offense. And there's nothing against them. Absolutely, positively, without a shadow of a doubt, not anything against me. They weren't bad people. They weren't mean people. They weren't. But then as I stood up for what my values were and what I wanted, they weren't my people. Do I see them still? Absolutely. Do I talk with them? Absolutely. Do I go out and get drunk with them? Absolutely not. I don't. Are they welcome to my home? Absolutely. On my terms. They
Mm.
come in, the whole thing. I will go out. I'll go out and have dinner with them. I have my own car. You wish to go out and do whatever? Such is life. Enjoy yourself. I come home. I'm very happy with who I am and what I've done. And that's what it is. So to me, people pleasing is just like you said, Tracy, doing something to feel you feel like you belong. And that's really hard when you're going through some things and you don't value yourself and you don't have self-esteem and you don't feel worthy. That's where I feel people pleasing comes out extremely strong because you want to be accepted. You want to be part of the plan, the team. You want to be part of the action. And when you take that time to start finding yourself, that's when you realize um, what you want and don't want. So that's why I call myself a conscious people pleaser.
Mm.
I might
Mm.
not really want to do something that has nothing to do with drinking, but it might not be something I really want to do. But you know what? I really want to be with that person, and that's something they really want to do. So I'm going to go. And there have been times where I enjoyed myself because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go and look at this through that person's eyes. Again, it's not drinking, but it's something else. Like, I'm going to go look at it. Not something I would do, but I'm going to go look at it through that person's eyes. And I've had time. And would I do it again? Probably not. But I spent a memory with that person. That's my conscious people pleasing.
So what's the difference between going, okay, I'm not people pleasing, I've accepted an invitation to something, and then you go, I don't want to go. Then you go and have a great time, right? Like you just said. So
Mhm.
there's people pleasing, there's making decisions and then kind of regretting them for no other reason than, "Oh, I'm tired, I don't want to do this now," and it working out well. So I think we still have to get a little deeper in the people pleasing. Like what are you like 5 things that you're doing as a people pleaser?
You're saying yes when you really want to say no. It's not a yes now and then no later on. I can't be bothered. I'm tired. I don't feel like it. Like in the
Okay,
moment you said yes, it's like, yeah, I do really want to go. But when you're people pleasing, you say yes for all the wrong
right.
reasons.
Okay, good. That's a good one. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're saying yes for
Yeah.
all the wrong reasons.
You're like
For
walking
all
It's
the
away
wrong
not
like,
just
reasons.
simply going with the flow and going, this isn't that important to me. I don't really have a feeling about this one way or another. I can go, I don't have to go, and you choose to go. Again, to me, that's not people pleasing.
Okay.
I'm
yeah,
just kind of,
yeah.
sure, I'll go with you. Sure, no problem. Sure, I'll go shopping with you. No, it's no big deal.
Right.
She said yes when she really wanted to say no right at the get-go.
Right.
That is people pleasing.
That's people pleasing. Yep.
Yeah. When you put yourself constantly last
Mm-hmm.
in order to make other people happy so that they will like you, love
Yep.
you, accept
Yep.
you. That is people
Yes.
pleasing.
Yes.
Because there's a
Perfectly said.
difference.
I was gonna say, good job.
Because again, there's a difference between doing something that you don't want to do because you love somebody, but you're doing it because there is always a give and take in a relationship. That is
Mm-hmm.
also different than doing it because I want to be loved by you. And I think
Yes.
if I agree to this, you will love me more.
Right.
You will
Right.
accept me more.
Yes. Absolutely. Perfect. Yes. There are times where I know, I'll be honest, he's not here. Pete wants me to do something, and it's like, I really don't want to do that. And I'm like, is it imperative that I'm there with? I'll have a conversation with him. I really don't want to do that, Pete. And here's why I don't want to do that. Is it imperative? Do I need to be with you? And he'll be like, no, that's okay now. Like, no, I'll go alone. And I've learned to do that, where before I would be like, well, I had to go. I don't want him to be upset with me, you know? So everyone's on mute.
I'm still coughing.
I got a barking dog in the back.
Can't hear him. So,
Because I'm on mute.
okay. So, do you, viewer, have a problem with people pleasing, or do you understand the difference, as Tracy G was like kept questioning Tracy and I about? Do you understand the difference with being agreeable and people pleasing? And do you have any questions about it? Put them down in the comment. Let us know. What can we help you with? If you know somebody who is a constant people pleaser, maybe share this episode with them. Help them along with it. They might not even realize that they're a people pleaser. If you like this episode, please give us a like and make sure you hit subscribe and hit that notification button so you know when our next episode will be out. Until next time.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you as a regular member of our community.